Hello, my name is Jeff McDonald and welcome to my workshop. The project I just finished was this one, okay? And what I want to do is show you how I made this, so stay tuned, keep watching. Well, I got busy working and I cutting all these pieces and I thought, oh my goodness, I got to record this. I've been busy trying to get ready for a show coming up, so I'm not in my right mind. But anyway, I glued this up. Different woods to make this particular pattern. So now what I'm doing is cutting it at 1.5 inches long at a 30-degree angle, and what it's going to do is make this chevron, okay, like this. And then the next thing I'll do is glue all the chevron pieces together in a row and then end up you'll see. I'll show you the parts to it. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but I didn't want to. I almost forgot to record this part, so I'll show you a little bit of this. See how many I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Alright, so now all we do is glue these up. Now we have a chevron, okay? And after they're all paired up, then they're going to be glued together this way. And some cuts are going to be made, you'll see. And eventually this will become diamonds. I know it doesn't look like it yet, but it's going to become diamonds. At least I've never made one before, but from what I've learned by reading, these are going to become diamonds. So we'll just see. All right, so you've seen where I made the chevrons and I cut them. And so now what I'm doing is I got to glue all these together, okay? And I could try to explain it, but I'd rather just show you what I'm doing. Well, you're going to see very soon that the wood color changes from the brown to orange. It's a Padauk wood. What happens when I made this feature ring, I made it wrong. And the parts to make the feature ring, I didn't record these parts for the new feature ring. So I just left it in so you can see the steps, but it's going to be a different color, different feature ring. That's all. As you will see, I am removing the center of this feature ring. These chevrons are half the size of the first ones I made, and I glued them all together, as you saw. And you just remove this center section, and then the two outer sections come together to make the diamond. Sorry about that. Gotta move the camera. There we go. That one. Alrighty, so we bring these two together and there's our diamond, or all of our diamonds, and hopefully we can get it to work. Looks pretty good for right now. right, what I'm going to do is something that wasn't necessarily recommended to do, but I'm not sure what else to do. If you look at these, if I can get them on the camera, some of these really line up well, and some of them don't. So they recommend that I glue this up like this. You find one that sets up nice, and now this one's off, right? Keep going down and you'll find them, they start getting off, like this one's off. See that? So what I'm thinking, instead of having, I mean, they almost fit together, but I'm thinking about cutting them, just cutting them off and then gluing them individually, lining them up and gluing them individually. I think they will come out a lot nicer that way. So that's my plan. All right. And with that, let me get cutting. All right, we're getting ready to cut the segments at the 10-degree angle. This is the final cut before we glue them up. And so far, so good. I got 18 of them. And yeah, that's that. And what we're going to do now is going to glue this ring up. Now, I did a test run on it, and it looked pretty good, so it was a little off here and there, but it wasn't terrible. I'm going to glue this a little differently than I normally do. I'm going to do a piece at a time. I've got it in the order I want it to be in. And so I don't want to mess that up at all. so what I gotta do to get started cutting the segments, and if you've seen my other videos, you know what I'm doing. Have my cut sheet, and my cut sheet's telling me the very first segments, the size is 0.439. It's fairly small, and so I take a stick like this, put a mark on it for 0.439, and line it up with the saw where the cut's going to be on this left side. Come back and it's already set up, so I bring this up and set it up. Okay, double check it. Actually, this should be a little better. That's why we double check it, I guess. And then I just cut 18 or 36 of those, okay? And you see I got a lot of cutting to do. Lots of cutting to do. So I'm gonna get busy doing that. If you're really interested in this process, and all of my videos that I do segmented bowls, generally I do a detail of this, okay? So you can find that and look at that. All right. Alright, so it's time to start putting rings together, and if you've seen me do this before, you know, you kind of have a good idea how I do it. And if you want to skip forward, you know, please be my guest. But really what I do is I lay out my segments and then put all the glue on it, and then I start putting them together. Now, this particular bowl has a lot of solid color, so a lot of my bowls will have different colors mixed in, and it's a pattern that you got to pay a lot of attention to. This time it's really easy because I just glue in one wood. So all I do is throw down the glue. I use this little disc, and I got these smaller rubber bands. I don't know if these are big enough. We're going to try them. This press is mainly for this purpose, making segments. It holds everything in place so I can get the rubber bands on it. Some people are pretty good about putting these rubber bands. Yeah, these rubber bands are not going to hold this. Well, I'll show you kind of what I'm doing. Clean this up. Now I just got to straighten up these pieces. Just kind of go around and get them moved in where they're supposed to be. You want to get lots to see the glue coming through the cracks. You want to make sure it's good and tight. It's actually turned out pretty good. Even with the rubber bands, there's a weak spot. Okay. I probably ought to take, and I think I will. I'm going to take metal and put it over. But anyway, I'm just showing you how I build these rings. I'm going to take these off and use a metal clamp. That's not going to hold it tight enough. All right, but you get the general idea of how I put these together. All right, here's the stack of rings for the bowl. minus the feature ring, which will be in between there. Now I realize it looks like a huge tall bowl, but keep in mind this still has to be, all these have to go down to 1/2 inch. I got to run them through the drum sander. So if I have to pull ring out or so to kind of shrink it, I will, because if it looks too tall for me, well, maybe the top ring would have to go away or something, you know what I'm saying? So we'll figure that out as we go. But right now I got to run it all through the drum sander. There we go. Alright, so now it's time to build this bowl. What I've done is I glue this to a waste block on this end. I'm going to start gluing each ring to the base. This is going to be the base of the bowl. Alright? Very simple process, and I'll probably show it in super fast time and not show you all the steps. So I'll just show you this first step. I just glue both sides. You want to make sure I got enough glue. And then it's just a process of coming back every 20 minutes or 30 minutes and putting another ring on until the bowl's created. Now with this bowl, I think I have to, halfway through, I need to stop, maybe even a third of the way through, stop, let it dry, and turn it, because if I don't, it'll get too deep and I won't be able to reach the bottom. So I'm only going to put a couple rings on, maybe 3 or 4, and then I'll be able to turn that much. You understand? Alright, so I just clamp it shut. I don't know if you can see that now because of the way I did the camera. Anyway, you know, I tighten it, and that's that. All right. Alright, so we put on the first 4 rings onto the base. Now I'm going to turn the inside before we continue. That way I can get to them now and won't be able to get to them later. Alrighty. Well, it's finally time to finish turning this thing. So we're going to do the afternoon is work on this thing. Let's see here. All right, that looks really good. All right, it's time to do the outside. Now these sharp edges, I probably with sandpaper will just clean those off, you know. I'm gonna do as far as I can before I have to remove this steady rest here. I like having it on there though, because it's just, I feel safe, like nothing's gonna fly off. I hate to get to this part of a project and lose it, right? There's a lot of hours in this project, and for it to break off the lathe or do something, it's just, so I take all the precautions I think I can. So I know I gotta do more, but I gotta watch it because it's a spot right there I don't like, but actually you're not able to watch from there, so I gotta change the camera view. now it's time to put a finish on this thing, and then we'll almost there, almost done. All right. This is using Axe abrasive sanding paste first, and then we're going to put Axe wax on it, polish on it after this. Alrighty. It's easy stuff. I like using easy stuff. And it's an easy process. All you do is wipe it on, use a little friction, sand it with, put it all over. I'll do the inside too, but I'm not going to move the camera because it isn't much different than what I'm doing on the outside. So I probably won't even show that part. Then after I get this done and I get the wax on, then we'll do the bottom. Remove it from the waste block and now I'm going to use the wax. All right, let me go get another rag. Different rag. I like to cut these rags up and use them. And like I said, where you at? Oh, pointing at the wrong camera. Can't see that light. Lights are not good there. That's the Axe polishing, restoring wax. So polishing wax. Alrighty. Getting cold here in Florida. Right now it's Thursday. What is the date? Like the 13th or something? When you're retired, you don't pay much attention to dates, I've noticed. Of January, but it's getting cold today. It's supposed to get down to 30s or something. Tomorrow, the weekend's supposed to be cold. So we got to break out clothes we don't really have too much of. All right, so same thing. Turn it on at 900 RPM. That should be good to get going. All right, we got it all done. Turned out pretty nice. I think that's the first time you got to see the real inside. I was in a hurry to get this turning done, and I didn't really show it to you. Man, my lights suck. Here we go. Sorry. There we go. There's the inside. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone watching, taking the time out of your busy day to watch me make this. You know, it looks like these things are done in a half hour, but really there's about 20 hours in this particular bowl. And so I have to edit the film in a way so you only have to suffer through 30 minutes of it. Because I know that if I have an hour or 2 hour video, that's just, no one's going to watch that. I wouldn't watch that. So anyway, so I just want to say Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified when I have new videos. And God bless. Have a great day.